Alright, so the 2024 trade deadline is in the books, and we know pretty much every team's roster for the remaining part of the regular season. So in today's video, we are going to be ranking every NBA team 30-1 in a power ranking format. Some of these teams could add players on the buyout market like a Spencer Dinwiddie or a Kyle Lowry, and some teams helped their ranking a ton from the trade deadline, and some teams dropped from it. So like always, let me know in the comments what you agree with and disagree with, and if you did enjoy the video by the end of it, I would appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Without further ado, let's get into this. So we're going to start off with team number 30. They've been the worst team in the NBA all season. They're 35 games below 500, and that are the Detroit Pistons. If they weren't the worst team already, well, they just traded away their second and fifth leading scorers this season, sending Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic to the New York Knicks. They are the 25th offensive team in the league. They are the 29th defensive team in the league, second to last in the league in net rating as well, and this team only got worse from the deadline. Yeah, coming in at your number 30 spot are your Detroit Pistons. I hope they get the number one pick in the draft, because I will feel really bad if they do not. Speaking of trading away some of your best players, the Charlotte Hornets are coming in here at number 29. LaMelo Ball, once again, having an injury-riddled season. They traded away Terry Rozier to the Miami Heat, Gordon Hayward to the OKC Thunder, and PJ Washington to the Dallas Mavericks. This team is going to be very young throughout the second half of the regular season. We're going to see more minutes to Nick Smith Jr., Wiki Black, Amari Bailey, JT Thor, and newly acquired Trey Mann. I kind of feel bad for Grant Williams going from a Dallas Mavericks team that's going to be competing in the playoffs to this squad. But I like the Hornets trade deadline as a whole, and they should have a exciting 2024 offseason ahead of them. We got our first Western Conference team coming in at number 28, and that are the San Antonio Spurs. Man, the Spurs have been bad this year. They are the third worst offensive team in the league, 8th worst in defensive rating, and 4th worst in overall net rating. It's a shame too, because Victor Wembanyama is having an historic rookie season. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson have had solid years as well, but the point guard experiment has been an absolute mess at times, and this team didn't get better at the deadline either. So they're probably going to finish with the worst record in the Western Conference this year. They are 31 games under 500 at the moment I am recording this video. So coming in at number 27, we have the Washington Wizards, a team that just traded away their starting center Daniel Gafford to the Dallas Mavericks. I don't really get this trade for them either, because Gafford was under contract going forward. They didn't move Tyus Jones at the deadline, and they basically got a late first-round pick for Gafford. I doubt they draft a player just as good as him. They're still paying Jordan Poole a ton of money for being one of the worst players in the league this year. They're 5th worst in offensive rating, 4th worst in defensive rating, 3rd worst in just net rating overall. This team is not good. They're going to be tough to watch the rest of the season. I just hope to see more Bilal Coulibaly, Denny Avdia, and Corey Kispert touches. Coming in at number 26, we have a team that's just been injury riddled, and that are the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, this has been the season from hell for the Grizzlies. John Morant is out for the year. Desmond Bane had a major injury. Marcus Smart had a major injury. They traded away Steven Adams, who was out for the year with a major injury. Luke Kennard, Santi Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr., Derrick Rose, Xavier Tillman, who they just traded away, have all missed time this season. And we've been seeing guys like Scottie Pippen Jr., Trey Jamison, Jacob Gilliard, and Tosan Iwoman get major minutes this year. Yeah, this team is not great. They're coming in at number 26. But hey, the Grizzlies with a top 10 pick and getting Ja, Bane, and Triple J fully healthy next year and a whole offseason to revamp this team, they could be a scary squad in 2025. All right, we got another Western Conference team coming in here at number 25, and that are the Portland Trailblazers. I was kind of shocked the Blazers didn't make a move at the deadline by moving either Matisse Thybulle or Malcolm Brogdon. But I mean, on paper, they definitely have a better team than Memphis, Washington, San Antonio, Charlotte, and Detroit, in my opinion. Anthony Simons is one of the more underrated young guards in this league. Jeremy Grant's still a good player. Malcolm Brogdon, DeAndre Ayton, Scoot Henderson are all healthy at the moment. And this team could be a lot more exciting in 2025 as well, with having multiple first-round picks and just hoping to see more continued development in their young core going forward. Coming in at number 24, we have the Toronto Raptors. If the Raptors get a pick outside the top 6, they will not be getting that. That will be going to the San Antonio Spurs. So the Raptors want to bottom out in the second half. And that made sense when they traded away Dennis Schroeder and Thad Young for Spencer Dinwiddie, who they waived moments after. I didn't really get the whole Ochai Agbaji, Kelly Olynyk deal with the Utah Jazz. And they also didn't move Bruce Brown at the deadline either. It was definitely a head-scratching deadline for the Toronto Raptors and Masai Ujiri, and this team is going to be kind of tough to watch in the second half of the year, outside some few bright spots like Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. Man, the Brooklyn Nets are in a really bad situation right now. They're coming in at number 23. I just mentioned them acquiring Dennis Schroeder and Thad Young for the Raptors in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie. I like that move for them. They traded Royce O'Neal to the Phoenix Suns for multiple second rounders, but I think this team is still going to be a fringe playing tournament team. They also don't have their first round pick in this upcoming draft that's going to the Houston Rockets from the James Harden trade, so they do want to win games right now. But I was just never a big fan of the Nets going into the year, and I'm still not a big fan of them now, as they're just a below average team this year. Now, I was really shocked when the Atlanta Hawks didn't trade anybody at the deadline. They didn't move DeJounte Murray, Sadiq Bey, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, or DeAndre Hunter. They're coming in at number 22 on this list. They've been one of the worst defensive teams in all of the NBA this year. Even with Trae Young taking a slight step on the defensive end, I feel like DeJounte Murray is just taking 2 big steps back on that side of the floor. Jalen Johnson has obviously been a bright spot for them, and I don't really know how this team continues to underachieve. They have a talented roster, and I was just very shocked they didn't make any type of move at the deadline to either get better or just to rebuild with some future assets. The Houston Rockets are coming in at number 21, and honestly, you would definitely take that if you're a Rockets fan. I mean, this team has been a bottom feeder in the Western Conference ever since they traded away James Harden. For them just being a respectable around 500 team this year is a great sign of improvement. They're one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. Shout out to Ime Udoka. Fred VanVleet looked like a great signing, as well as a facilitator and three-point shooter. Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith have taken steps this year. Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson have looked great in their rookie spurts. I do wonder what they're going to do with Jalen Green going forward, who will have some games where he looks like somebody you could build around as your franchise player, but then other games where he completely shoots you out of them. Speaking of teams that I was very surprised that didn't make any moves at the deadline, that are the Chicago Bulls, who are coming in at number 20 on this list. I mean, the Bulls have slightly turned their season around. They're 3 games under 500 at the moment I'm recording this, after getting off to just an abysmal start this season. They're still a below average offensive team, and honestly, there aren't many bright spots about them going forward outside of Kobe White, who would be my most improved player pick if the season ended today. He's been incredible for them, almost averaging 20 points on the season now on really good efficiency. But Zach LaVine is going to be out for the year, and I was very shocked they didn't move DeMar DeRozan or Alex Caruso at the deadline. Coming in at number 19, we have the Utah Jazz, who definitely got worse at the deadline by moving Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji. But I'm glad they made these moves because we get to see a little bit more out of Taylor Hendricks, who was their top 10 pick in the 2023 draft, and hopefully a little bit more Bryce Sensabaugh as well, because he's just been so bad in the G League. They just got to throw him out there and hope he can improve in some way, shape, or form for the Jazz. Colin Sexton has had a nice year. Keontae George has shown flashes as a rookie, and Lauri Markkanen is still the top guy for this team. It's a good squad. Coming in at number 18, we have the Golden State Warriors. So the Warriors have been pretty mid this season. They've been hovering around 500 all year. If the season ended today, they would not be in the play-in tournament. They've been a pretty bad defensive team. They were actually horrible in the month of January on that side of the floor. But Jonathan Kuminga has been breaking out as of late, and they still have a good roster on paper, even with guys like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Chris Paul taking step backs in their career this season. And Steph isn't getting any younger either, but at least Wiggins has been playing better as of late. Like I said, Jonathan Kuminga has been breaking out, and Brandon Podziemski has been a very good rookie for them this season. On to number 17, let's talk about the LA Lakers, who didn't make a single trade at this year's deadline. They were in plenty of rumors all year to maybe get Zach LaVine, to maybe get DeJounte Murray, but they kept the team how it is. It's a solid team on paper. It's around a 500 squad. I don't think they're going to go as far in the playoffs as they did in the 2023 season, it's still a respectable roster when AD, LeBron are healthy and on the floor playing together.
One thing that I just love to do to spice up watching the NBA, either it's at home or going to the game, is playing fantasy sports. Today's video is sponsored by the easiest way to play fantasy sports all NBA season, and that is Underdog Fantasy. It's my favorite place to play fantasy games. My favorite part about Underdog is the pick'em feature that is super easy to play. You pick 2 to 5 stats of your favorite players or either a game you plan on watching or following, and choose if they can go higher or lower. It could be in personal fouls, it could be in points, it could be in triple doubles. I recently hit a 4 picks for $100 on Christmas Day, where I got Josh Hart to get higher than 7 points, Damian Lillard to get higher than 25.5 points, Jalen Brunson higher than 4.5 free throws made. And then another thing that I love that Underdog does is promos at times, which you can combine in a pick'em play. And this was 1 point equals you win for Giannis Antetokounmpo. All I needed him to get was over a half a point, and they'll do plenty of those throughout the season as well. And if you get all your picks right, you can make up to 20 times your money on a single NBA game. You can also do rivals picks as well, which pits 2 players against each other, and that could be in your typical points, rebounds, and assists as well. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Sign up at Underdog Fantasy today at underdogfantasy.com or the App Store, and use my promo code SROS to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You also receive a new customer special, or aka a mystery pick, which will get you a pick'em special in your lobby when you sign up using code SROS that you can see on your screen now. You also must be a certain age in your state to play Underdog Fantasy. Every state that's legal to play Underdog will be in the description below. And please, like always, remember to play responsibly. So yeah, use code SROS at sign up to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And thank you again to Underdog for sponsoring today's video.
The Orlando Magic are playing with house money at this point in the season. They've already met their season expectations. Paolo Banchero was a first-time All-Star. Jalen Suggs has broken out in year 3 as a great role player for them. Wagner's been a good number 2, and they got Wendell Carter Jr. back fully healthy. This is a good, respectable young team. They're currently 8th in the Eastern Conference right now. And they're coming back down to earth a little bit as of late, but they're still a good team, and I'm excited to see if they will make the playoffs outside of the play-in tournament this year. Coming in at number 15, we have a team that made 2 pretty notable trades at the deadline. That's going to be the Dallas Mavericks. So the Dallas Mavericks gave up Grant Williams and a first-round pick for PJ Washington. Now, Grant Williams hasn't been good for them this season, but I don't think Washington will make them that much better. But I really like the move for them going out and getting Daniel Gafford to give some help to their center depth. Because Derek Lively has been playing a ton for somebody that's a 19-year-old rookie. So Gafford can take the load off his back and be a nice rim runner and shot blocker for them. I feel like this team has such a wide variance in the second half of the season. They could end up as the 14th in the Western Conference, or they could fall into the back end of the play-in tournament. Coming in at number 14, we have the Indiana Pacers, who traded away Buddy Hield at the deadline to the Philadelphia 76ers. We knew they acquired Pascal Siakam in the middle of January, and they have a very good deep squad. I still worry about their defense at times, but trading away Buddy Hield will help that. And I'm excited to watch Siakam and Halliburton playing together in a full second half. And this team can score 140 points on you, as they are the best offensive team in the league this year. But like I said, I'm a little bit scared about their defense, as they are the 5th worst defensive team in 2024. I feel like it's a reoccurring trend of teams that I was just kind of shocked didn't make any moves at the deadline, and coming in at number 13 are the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, the Kings didn't make any move at the deadline, which I was very shocked with, because I think this team wants to achieve more than they did last year, which was a first-round exit for the squad. They would be a play-in tournament team if the season ended at the moment I'm recording this video. I mean, they're right there with the Suns and the Pelicans in the standings, so that could change by the time you're seeing this. But they're a good team, don't get me wrong. I just don't know if they're going to be a championship team with the current roster that they have. Coming in at number 12, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, who were trying to get DeJounte Murray at the deadline, but Atlanta apparently wanted Herb Jones, so the Pelicans shot that down real quick. But hey, Zion Williamson has been mainly healthy this season. Knock on wood if you're a Pels fan. We are witnessing history this year. And this Pelicans team is good. They're a good defensive squad. They play hard. They didn't add any big man depth at the deadline, but they're still an above average offensive team. They're still a top 10 defensive team this season. I would love to see them in a 7-game playoff series. I didn't really know where to rank the Philadelphia 76ers, so I'm putting them at 11. They got better at the deadline acquiring Buddy Hield, but I still don't know when Joel Embiid is coming back. I mean, Tyrese Maxey has been as good as a number 2 as you could have asked for this season. Tobias Harris has been good. Kelly Oubre has been rock solid. And when Embiid has played, he's been the MVP this year, no doubt, averaging 35 points and 11 rebounds, but he's going to miss a decent amount of time this year, and I don't know how fully healthy he will be for the playoffs, and that's why I have them ranked behind some of these Eastern Conference teams ahead of them. So to start off the top 10, we have a team that I can't disrespect anymore, even if their record isn't the greatest, and that are the Miami Heat. I know, what are you going to say? The Miami Heat don't really try as much in the regular season because they turn it up to a whole nother level in the playoffs. They got better acquiring Terry Rozier a few weeks ago. They're pretty much back to getting fully healthy with Jimmy, Hero, Bam, Jaime Jaquez all playing together. Duncan Robinson has bounced back, shooting 40% from 3 again this year. They're deep as they've ever been, it feels like at times. And with them adding Rozier and Jaime Jaquez being a fantastic rookie, this team could win the finals in 2024, when I said before, as they turn it up a notch in the playoffs. So we can't disrespect the Heat. That's why I have them coming in at number 10. And hey, just ask yourself, if the Sixers and Heat played in the playoffs right now with a fully healthy Embiid, I think I'm taking the Heat to win that series. So coming in at number 9, we have a team that I think has such a wide variance as well. They went out, they acquired Royce O'Neal at the deadline. I'm going to talk about the Phoenix Suns. There hasn't been many games this year where the Suns have been fully healthy, but they're starting to get like that. Kevin Durant is still playing as a top 5 player in the league level at age 35. Devin Booker has been incredible as the lead guard for them this season. Grayson Allen has been one of the best shooters in the league. Like I said, they went out and they acquired a nice role player in Royce O'Neal, and this is a team I do not want to face in a 7-game playoff series because they have as good as top-end talent as any other team in the league. You know, we got to give some love to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're coming in at number 8. The Cavs have been incredible without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley this year, and that's because of Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen. Now that they have Garland and Mobley back, they're as scary as ever, and they have a deep team as well. Sam Morril being a nice 3-point shooter, Craig Porter being a nice backup guard, and Max Strus being a nice free agent acquisition. I wonder how Mobley and Allen are going to adapt in the playoffs this year after we saw them struggle against the Knicks last year in round 1. But Donovan Mitchell has been a top 10 player in the league this year. This Cavs team is very scary and could end the year as the 2nd best team in the Eastern Conference standing wise. So I have one team right ahead of them that may cause some debate in the comments, and I got the New York Knicks. So the New York Knicks are coming in at number 7, and I do think the trade for Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks made them that much better. They were looking for that shot creation off the bench after the OG and Anunoby deal. They missed that a lot in Emmanuel Quickly, but they went out, they acquired Bojan Bogdanovic, who's been a great 3-point shooter and a 20-point per game scorer for the Pistons this season. Alec Burks will be a nice 3-point 3-point shooter off the bench. And if they get Anunoby, Randall, and maybe even Mitchell Robinson back healthy for the playoffs, I realistically think this team has a chance at winning the NBA Finals. Coming in at number 6, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. This team has definitely fallen down the list since the preseason ranking. They fired their coach, Adrian Griffin. They've looked horrible under new head coach Doc Rivers, who has a reputation of blowing playoff series leads. So that's not giving me confidence that they are a top 5 team in the NBA right now. Their defense has been below average. I like the move of getting Patrick Beverley from Philadelphia. And hey, Doc, can you play Marjon Beauchamp and Andre Jackson just a little bit more in the second half? Please. All right, to start the top 5, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've been one of the best teams in the Western Conference this season. They're around 20 games above 500. They're the best defensive team in the league as well, with the Rudy Gobert resurgence. I like the pickup of Monty Morris at the deadline as well. And obviously, they got Anthony Edwards, who looks like he's a playoff performer after what he did in round 1 last year against the Denver Nuggets. So coming in at number 4, we got the OKC Thunder. And the reason why I have the Thunder ahead of Minnesota is because I believe they have the better coach in Mark Daigneault. They also have the better top guy in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over somebody like Anthony Edwards this season. I like the pickup of Gordon Hayward at the deadline. I would have liked for them to pick up a big man that could rebound the ball a little bit better. I thought that was a little bit questionable from Sam Presti, but this team is as good as ever. Shai's a great number 1. J-Dub's a great number 2. Holmgren's a great number 3. This team would be scary in the playoffs, even if I think they're inexperienced. So coming in at number 3, we have a team that made a major trade to start off the year. They looked really bad after they made the trade, but they've been one of the best teams in the NBA since December, and that are the LA Clippers. Man, Paul George, since being an all-star, has been horrible, but this team is still winning games. Just shows how much talent they got with Kawhi Leonard playing some of the best basketball of his career. James Harden fitting into his role perfectly in LA. Russ has been great since getting moved to the bench. They got Zubats back healthy. Norman Powell's been a great bench scorer as well. This Clippers team has a realistic chance at winning the NBA Finals this year. They're a fantastic offensive team. They're an above average defensive team. As long as they stay healthy, they can win it all. So coming in at number 2, I do have the reigning champions, the Denver Nuggets. You still gotta respect the reigning champs, man. They still have the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. We know Jamal Murray will turn it up a notch in the playoffs. They still have great role players and complementary pieces to those two, like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, KCP, and Reggie Jackson. I've loved what I've seen out of Peyton Watson and Christian Brown this season. They didn't really need to make any moves at the deadline because they're still one of the best teams in the NBA, and I'm always going to give the reigning champs a little bit more credit if they're in the same tier as some other teams like they are with the Clippers, Thunder, and Timberwolves. So coming in at number 1, we have the Boston Celtics. They've been the best regular season team all year. They're the second best offensive team. They're the third best defensive team. Their starting and closing 5 is pretty much 5 all-star caliber players in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White, and Drew Holiday. They picked up Jaden Springer and Xavier Tillman at the deadline to add to their bench. And it's finals or bust for the Celtics team, and I still think that they are the best team in the NBA right now. So yeah, that is it for me. That is me ranking every NBA team after the 2024 trade deadline. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with in the comments below. Like always, thank you all for watching. Drop a like if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.